Another 2 combat powers, well, technically 3. Rhino Assault also is a combat power and enhancement module. Is there anything on the board that I would like to get rid of? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be good value here. I go for the smoke bomb. And of course I need to shield. He apparently likes the oil, yeah. Though I'm really curious what that oil positioning is for. Ah, okay. Well, that is probably going to be what it's for. Fire. Not this round, apparently. But probably next round. I mean, it makes sense trying to delay forces. He does throw a shield. He guesses the right side, which surprises me, to be honest. Personally, I would have expected it on the side that I want to win more heavily, but, well, I guess you can make an argument for either side. I was winning on the left anyway last round. For the moment, these Stormcrawlers are really good shield break, and I did put more economy into shields overall, so I guess that balances out the nuke. Somewhat, at least. This level 3 spider with armor is pretty fat, but I can gun it down with the power of the marksmen and the Mustangs. And on the right side it's looking pretty good, but I used a shield there as well. So it's not as amazing as it might seem. Mustangs and the marksmen can clean everything up, and the health bars are looking a bit in my favor. Unit drops. We have a fat saber or 2 melting points. Even typhoons and phoenixes are a good choice here, I think. Or at least a passable choice. There's a lot of health in those spiders to destroy, so all of these units make sense. Since I have Mustangs, I wouldn't go for typhoons. And since my opponent has fire badges, I don't think he needs to either. I'm going for the fat saber to sell it. Don't necessarily want to go into sabers, but he does add more stormcallers. Yeah, and here comes the fire. Here comes the fire. Here also come the spider mines. I have a very decent amount of spiders now. I'm ahead in the spider game now. But he has Melter Storm. Because why the F not? It almost always is Melter Storm. Third Melter, because why not? Places it very close to the smoke. I think that is a mistake. Anyway, the spider mines are go. Almost 10k health even. Instant lock on one of the spiders here. Second salvo is in. Second spider in the middle is being destroyed by the melting point. That is definitely not good. There's a lot of fire in the way now. Yep, this is gonna be a hard one, I think. Melters are really good against these spiders as long as there's enough support. I think there's not enough support though. They got some good locks early on, but now the Mustangs are actually good chaff. The fire didn't land as devastatingly effectively as I'm used to. I do actually deal a good amount of damage. I would not have expected that, to be honest, to do it here. Oh, Orbital Javelin, Barrier, Intensive Training Speed Specialist. All of these you can make an argument for, I think. But Intensive Training probably isn't worth it. This looks like a probably last round situation. I do drop an Orbiter here. It's the Melter that didn't level and won't, hopefully, escape the 80k damage. He, of course, throws that in the way of my Mustangs. He also throws fire here. I guess that it might be to try and cheese the tower. I guess I have nothing really in front of the tower. Some of them are going for the tower and others are not. He goes for crawler production and even more melting points, apparently. So far, at least, no sale on that melting point to reposition it or other shenanigans like that. I could have also tried to go for this tarantula, but it has too much health. On level 3 with the item, it actually can't be destroyed by the orbital javelin alone. I do, however, correctly predict this. So I use my mobile beacon to hopefully get all of these Mustangs out of harm's way. Oil in the middle. this also leads to these repositioning, retargeting. And I do have at least some anti-missile devices. The Mustangs survive, so this is good. And the oil is pretty devastating, I'd say. There's very little chaff left, and there's no melter here. So it looks like that side is going to absolutely collapse very quickly. Melting points have locked onto some spiders, but yeah, this is looking pretty good. Alright. I guess spiders are pretty good into Melter Storm. Yeah, that I think is the first time that I've ever managed to beat Steel Sane. And he was playing a pretty mean meta build, but I guess he didn't have the support to back it up. Usually what I see when people play Melter Storm is that they have very little other units than Chaff, Storms, and Melters. They may have some carry marksmen and similar stuff. But I did have some carry marksmen of my own. I really like to skip range if I can, and go directly into elite marksmen when they've leveled a good amount, because then they get range but also a lot of damage. This guy can probably two-shot a level 1 melter, right? Yeah. This marksman can two-shot a level 1 melter if it locks on. So that is a great advantage. And in combination with these super carry Mustangs, I think they were the right call. I have heard, and I am very much inclined to believe, that it is actually a counter to spiders to have carry Mustangs, because they are very good at shooting down these stupid spider mines when they are moving in. I also think the spider mines did a lot. They distracted stormcallers, and that meant that my chaff was... First of all, I was manufacturing chaff as the round is going on, similar to the melters with crawler spawn, but this is every 36 seconds. This is every 15 seconds. It's a lot more spawning, and it has no limit as far as spawn events go. These melters, they were nerfed in the sense that this produces up to 3 times. This has no limit on production. It can produce 10 times a round if the time lasts. I don't think the time lasts, right? It's 120 seconds. So technically it can produce 10 times. It can produce a bit less than... it can produce, what is that, 8 times? I'm pretty sure it's 8 times. Simply based on time limit. Well, I have to admit, this is starting to get really, really redundant. I am failing, and failing again, trying to beat my own army. I guess Marksman, Tarantula, Mustang is just really powerful. I can't really describe it any other way. I have failed, 8 or 9 times now. Starting to get a bit desperate to get a win of any sort. It's hard. EMP on the melters didn't work. What else really is there? What can I realistically do to turn this around? Maybe what I do now, let's try it, is go into a lot of Stormcallers. Put some Stormcallers here, because the big problem in the later stages of the round kinda tends to be the marksmen. I don't really have the ability to deal with them well enough. Let's just throw one shield here and maybe get a level onto this marksman. Did I? Oh no, I did place it. Okay. For a moment I thought I had forgotten the javelin. Unfortunately, one spider survived, so it wasn't a perfect hit. I'm kind of very reliant on getting perfect hits here. This time around, the anti-missile devices are not nearly going to be enough. My big worry is that maybe the spider mines are going to come in. But this is looking a lot more competitive right now than previous attempts. It does also take these marksmen some time to plink them down. Yeah, I think I cracked it, finally. Maybe. That marksman might just kill the tower, and that could be where everything falls apart. Under the tower. Yes! I have made it! I have found a way. Mass Stormcaller was the way. Mass Stormcaller and Launcher Overload was doing the trick against both the marksmen and the spiders and the mustangs. There simply weren't enough anti-missile devices to stop this. Ah, finally. I'm not sure. This took me like, what, 9 or 10 attempts to figure out a way to beat this without perfectly predicting and moving these units back by kinda only slightly predicting the shield on this side for the oil. I did also mess up the javelin, though realistically that could happen to anyone. I assume even Steel Saint sometimes misses javelins. Yeah, I'm happy I managed to beat this. It took a lot of attempts. Thanks to everybody for watching and listening.